Good morning, sir. Today we and my teammates are going to present a presentation on topic role of RBI and economic stability in India. Gunit, next slide. Introduction. The origins of Reserve Bank of India can be traced to 1926 when the Hilton Young Commission recommended the creation of a central bank for India to separate the control of currency and credit from the government and to improve banking facilities throughout the country. The Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 established the Reserve Bank, and after that, in 1949, the Reserve Bank was nationalized and fully controlled by India. Next slide. What is RBI? The Reserve Bank of India is India's central bank and regulatory body under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Finance, Government of India. It is responsible for the issue and supply of Indian rupee and the regulation of the Indian banking system. It also manages the main payment systems and works to promote its economic development. Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudran is one of the specialized division of RBI through which it mints Indian bank notes and coins. RBI established the National Payments Corporation of India as one of its specialized division to regulate the payment and settlement systems in India. Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation was established by RBI as one of its specialized division for the purpose of providing insurance of deposits and guaranteeing of credit facilities to all Indian banks. Objective of RBI. The preamble of Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, under which it was constituted, specifies its objective as to regulate the issue of banknotes and the keeping of reserves with a view to securing monetary stability in India and generally to operate the currency and credit system of the country to its advantage. Structure of RBI. Central Board of Directors, Governor, Deputy Governor, Executive Directors, Principal Chief General Manager, Chief General Manager, Deputy General Manager, Assistant General Manager, Manager, Assistant Manager, Support Staff. Functions of RBI. Issue of currency notes. To ensure adequate quantity of supplies of currency, issues new currency and destroys currency and coins out of circulating. It has to keep gold and foreign security against the notes and coins issued. Banker to the government, performs all banking functions for the central and the state government and also acts as their banker except that of Jammu and Kashmir. Banker to the banks, maintains banking accounts of all scheduled banks. RBI also regulates the opening or installment of ATM. RBI regulates the opening of branches by banks. RBI also regulates trade of gold, issues guidelines and directives for the commercial banks. Monetary regulation and management. Maintaining price stability, ensuring adequate flow of credit in the economy. RBI formulates, implements and monitors the monetary policy. Instruments of regulating monetary policy are basically of two categories: quantitative measures and qualitative measures. Monetary regulation instruments. Quantitative measures: bank rate 7%, repo rate 6.50%, reserve repo rate 6%, cash reserve ratio 4%, statutory liquidity ratio 21.25%. Qualitative measures: direct action, moral persuasion, legislation, publicity. Banks supervision. Licensing of banks, branch licensing policy, approval of capital reserves and liquid assets of banks, inspection of banks, audit, control over amalgamation and liquidation, exchange management and control, to facilitate external trade and payment and promote orderly development and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India. It acts as a custodian and manages the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. RBI maintains the exchange rate of rupee versus foreign currencies like US dollar, euro, pound, and Japanese yen. Importance of banking sector. Banking sector plays a substantial role in the economy of a country. The contribution of banking sector in Indian economy is huge as it caters timely credit, to all the sections of the society and at the same time receives deposits from them. Important functions of banking system. Economic development in a country is impossible if there is insufficient capital formation. It is in this juncture commercial banks encourage people to save their money and mobilize the money for investing in productive purposes. Credit creation. The credit creation greatly enhances the production activities and thus promoting economic growth, and which in turn helps in producing huge employment opportunities. Financial infrastructure. By providing necessary financial infrastructure and funds for backward areas, commercial banks push for balanced regional development in India. Promoting the primary sector. Commercial banks help in promoting the primary sector by giving timely credit to agriculture farmers. Provide advance loans. They provide advance loans to the customers for purchasing items like houses, consumer goods, furniture, etc., and encourage people for higher standard of living. Assisting the government of India. The role of banking sector in Indian economics is immense as the commercial banks assist the government of India to accomplish each goal of the planned economic development of the country. Provide the required financial support. The commercial bank provide the required financial support and infrastructure for both internal and external trade. Over to Anubha.
Now I would like to continue with that. How does RBI maintain economic stability? Next slide, Gundit. RBI basically formulates, implements, and monitors the monetary policy. This policy is the most important tool that the RBI has. Using this policy, RBI manages the interest rates offered by the banks on loans and deposits, and which affect the inflation and the deflation in the country. Next slide. This is an newspaper headlines which states that the court noticed to center RBI to regulate financial institutions. Next slide. Now the history comes. Before the onset of reforms in the early 1990s, the Indian financial sector was a government-dominated system with limited efficiency and too much stability through rigidity. This would suggest that financial stability in India has to be viewed contextually, more so when the sector is graduating towards a market-oriented one, with focus on efficiency and avoiding instability. Thus, at present, the Reserve Bank simultaneously pursues the objectives of a price stability and provision of an adequate credit for growth. In addition, financial stability has gradually emerged as a key consideration in the conduct of a monetary policy. The Reserve Bank has followed a three-pronged strategy to maintain the financial stability, and these are, next slide, Gunnar, maintaining the overall macroeconomic balance, especially through the twin objective of price stability and growth. Number two, enhancing the macroprudential functioning of institutions and markets. And number three is strengthening microprudential institutions' soundness through regulation and supervision. Next slide, Gunnar. This is another newspaper cutting from which RBI holds repo rate at 8%, rules out further hike if inflation keeps falling. This shows that RBI used to keep an eye on the economic stability of our nation, such as inflation and deflation. Next slide, Gunnar. Appropriate interest rate. The cost of borrowing is determined by the Reserve Bank of India, sets its interest rate, and ultimately consumer behavior will determine the overall demand in the economy is. So, both through direct channels of money supply as well as through indirect channels, through the interest rate setting behavior, the Reserve Bank of India determines what should be the interest rate that a commercial bank sets, and therefore in the process determines how consumer actually behave. Next slide. Here comes the economic growth. Traditionally, RBI's monetary policy was focused on controlling inflation through contraction of money, supply, and credit. This resulted in poor growth performance. Thus, RBI adopted the new policy of growth with stability. This new policy means, previous slide, Gunnar. This growth with stability means Sufficient credit will be available for growing needs of different sectors of economy, and at the same time, inflation will be controlled within a certain limit. Next slide. Now here comes the instrument of RBI which maintains the economic stability. Number one is repo and reverse repo rate. Repo is transaction wherein securities are sold by the RBI and simultaneously repurchased at a fixed price. This fixed price is determined in contrast to an interest rate called the repo rate. The transaction is relevant for banks when they need funds from the RBI. The central bank repurchases the securities. The higher the repo rate, more costly are the funds for the banks. And hence, higher will be the rate the banks pass on to the customers. A high rate signal that access to money is expensive for banks. So lesser credit will flow into the system and that helps bring down liquidity in the economy. The reverse in the reverse repo rate, which banks use to park excess money with RBI. At present, repo rate is 6.75% and reverse repo rate is 6.25%. Second one is cash reserve ratio. It is known as CRR. This is the percentage of a bank's total deposit that need to be kept as cash with the RBI. The central bank can change the ratio to a limit. A high percentage means banks have to less to lend, which curbs liquidity. A low CRR does the opposite. The RBI can reduce to raise CRR to tighten or to ease liquidity as the situation demands. At present, the CRR is 4%. Now the next is open market operations. This is known as OMO. This refers to buying and selling of government securities by RBI to regulate short-term money supply. If RBI wants to induce liquidity or more funds into the system, it will buy government securities and inject funds. And if it wants to curb the amount of money out there, it will send these to banks, thereby reducing the amount of cash that bank has. RBI uses this tool actively even outside of its monetary policy review to manage liquidity on a regular basis. Now the second one is statutory liquidity ratio. This is the percentage of banks' total deposit that they are needed to invest in the government approved securities. The lesser the amount of SLR, the more banks have to lend outside. The SLR has been brought down from 22% to 21.5% in this policy, and the endeavor will be to reduce it by 0.25% every quarter till 31st March 2017. Now the next one is bank rate. This is the rediscounting rate that RBI extends to bank against securities such as bills of exchange, commercial papers, and any other approved securities. In recent years, it has been the repo rather than the bank rate that has acted as a guideline for the banks to set their interest rates. It's currently at 8.25%. Directionally, bank rate follows repo. In addition to these measures, RBI also uses many qualitative tools to regulate credit flows and cost of credits to the economy and specific sectors within it. Now, I would like to call Gunit to proceed with it.
Thank you, Anuba. Now I would like to proceed with the merits and demerits and the conclusion. Merits are this system guarantees convertibility and paper currency. The monetary authorities can issue paper currency much more than the warranted by reserve, thereby it ensures elasticity in the monetary system. The third point is this method of note issue is economical and can be easily adopted by the developing or underdeveloped countries. The demerits are first, under this system, a large amount of precious metal lies locked in the reserve and cannot be put into productive use. This results in wastage of their use. Here, the metal is classified as gold. In practice, second point is in practice, high denomination notes are converted into low denomination notes and not into coins. Therefore, the convertibility of paper notes is not practical. Third, it is easy to expand or increase the currency but very difficult to reduce it. The reduction of currency has deflationary effects in the economy. The last is conclusion. Hereby, hence, after knowing all the facts and figures related to Reserve Bank of India (RBI), it is possible to conclude that RBI supports our nation's economy in a vital manner. Its policies and decisions affect the value of the Indian currency, and we can also state that it is the backbone of Indian economy. Thank you.